Yo, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and we are back here in beautiful downtown Miami area. We are now about to take a ride to our next destination. We are leaving the Maurice A. Foray / Museum Park to where we are about to take another ride and tour to another area. And now remember we was over there at the sculpture trail. We are now heading to the Metro Mover, which is the Museum Park Metro Mover. And remember, this Museum Park Metro Mover station, it was formerly called the Bicentennial Park Station, but it eventually got renamed. It closed down when Bicentennial Park closed. And, well, no, Bicentennial Park wasn't closed. It closed down when the park was inactive for a while. So they ended up closing the station for quite some time. Of course, that's the train right there. And they ended up reopening it back up and calling it the Museum Park Station, which became the focal point of this. To get here, you had to go around and, you had to get to, you had to either get off at 11th Street or get off at certain areas to get to this park. So now let's go here. Let's go. I just missed the train. Now, the Metro Mover is a free service that they have and they offer here in Miami-Dade. It's owned by the Miami-Dade Transit, the Department of Transportation and Public Works. I don't think I ever took a ride on the Metro Mover with y'all, so you're gonna see, because we're going one station over, and we have to cross the MacArthur Causeway, which I mentioned in the previous video. We have to cross the causeway to get to our next location. And of course, this is the signage that they have here for the museum park. I guess I don't know if it's for Perez.
Please exit at an accessible station.
This is the museum park.
We apologize for this inconvenience and thank you for riding Metro Mover.
And they are doing construction on the expressway to where you can see this is the Science Museum, and this is the Perez Art Museum here. So we're going to flash forward because I know now I have to sit here and wait on the train. You see there's a train coming from this is the...
A train to downtown is arriving. Stand back from the platform edge. Allow passengers to exit the vehicle before boarding.
Okay, one of the places I want to talk to you about is here, the Adrian Arts Center, which is a performing arts center, which is formerly called the Carnival Cruise Performing Arts Center. And over here, you see that tower, that little gray tower that sits. I'm gonna see if I can get a better closer of it because the Metro Mover just got here, and this little tower that sits right there, that is where our Sears location used to be. Now, I don't know if we're gonna actually get up close with that because our next location is kind of a historical, iconic location. It's not there anymore, but we're going to go. And if you're from Miami and you know where I'm at, you know what I'm going to go to next if I'm getting off at the next station. So if you're from Miami, you should already know. So yeah, that is the Adrian Arts Center. I went there one time many years ago when they do this thing called Free Gospel Sundays, where they hold the gospel concerts there, which was free to the public. The only thing is, when the email came out for the tickets, you had to get the tickets right then and there because you have to get them online. And they only have a limited amount. And then when the tickets sell out, they have standing line only, meaning that the day of the concert, if the concert starts at 3, they start lining up people at 2, and they start letting people in at 2, and you line up, and they start letting the people in at 2 o'clock, and then after they start letting the people in, that's when they let the general public in, because it was a free concert, and they only had limited seats and everything. So I went there one time with my mom. I saw one of my favorite R&B, I mean not R&B, gospel singers, which is Helen Baylor. If y'all don't know who she is, you're not gonna know who she is.
Part of the station is closed for renovations. Please board or exit at the adjacent stations, Freedom Tower or 11th Street Station.
Okay, so
Attention passengers, for your safety, please do not attempt to enter the guideway. Entering the guideway is prohibited. We appreciate your cooperation.
I wasn't trying to overtalk the information board, but yeah, I saw one of my favorite gospel singers out there. I have several gospel singers because I love gospel music, and Helen Bailey is one of my favorite gospel artists, and I got to see her there, and stuff like that. So this is one of the places. My mom actually, I actually got some seats for my mom to go see the 5 Blind Boys of Alabama in the Staples Center. Here comes our train, and I mean not the Staples Singers and the five Blind Boys of Alabama. They did a concert there, and my mom actually did it too.
A train to school board is arriving.
That's our train.
Stay back on the platform edge. Allow passengers to exit the vehicle before boarding.
It's about a 2 to 3 minute ride to our next stop, so it's not going to be long. But we did a ride on the train, the Metro Rail, but we never did a ride on the Metro Mover. So now we're going to take a ride on the Metro Mover system. Let's come out this way.
Approaching Adrian Arch Center Station.
Flash forward, we are now here at the Adrian Arch Center Metro Mover Station. We're going to talk about this in a minute. We're going to talk about several other things. I'm going to take the stairs and go down. I'll take the stairs and go down. Authorized personnel only. We'll go down to this way. And now the Adrian Arch Center Station is formerly known as the Omni Station, but this is called the Omni Loop on Miami-Dade Transits. I think this is called the Omni Loop. There are the City of Miami trolleys right there, and we're gonna go down. Now the Adrian Arch Center, that's the Performing Arts Center, and when that was built, they decided to rename the station the Adrian Arch Center Station, which also was formerly known as the Omni Metro Mover Station. Now here you have that's the trolley. That trolley takes you into Wynwood. This is the Omni Metro bus terminal that has several buses that come here. This used to be a little newsstand where you can buy your newspapers and your snacks and sodas, like extra stuff that you need. But apparently that has closed, so now it doesn't exist anymore. 15, 20. They have Carnival buses. But this is drop off only. So I just want to see, you know. Oh yeah, they brought it back to its original bus stop. So, okay. Now, okay, I was looking for something to where I mean. Now this building here. Now, this is a historical building. If you ever noticed this building, obviously, before I start this building, this sign right here that says Omni, if you can see it, and you saw it when we got off the station, this is a historical sign. If you've ever seen the first installment of Bad Boys, the Bad Boy movie starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, you will see this in a scene of the movie. This was the catwalk from the Metro movie station to over here. Now this is the iconic, or I in my book, historical Omni Mall. If you've ever been here in downtown, you know this was one of the premier malls here in downtown Miami. This was called the Omni Mall. They was a popular mall, and it was the first place that I've ever seen a two-story carousel. They had a second floor carousel. They had it here at this mall. Now this mall was one of the places I didn't very frequently visit it. I know one of the times I did visit here when the church that I actually went to actually took the kids to the movie theater here, because they had a movie theater also in here, and there was a music store here, and one of my favorite stores, which is no longer here, one of my favorite restaurants, A&W Root Beer, Floats and More, was here as well, and they had several other restaurants here as well. Also along with here is also a hotel. Now the hotel here now is called the Hilton. Back then it was something different. There was several hotels. There was, at one point, I think it was the Sheraton, if I'm not mistaken, but I know now it's called the Hilton Hotel, which house, there. And then there was like where there was a way from the hotel where you could actually go to the mall from the actual hotel. So now this hotel was very popular back in the 90s and the early 2000s. But of course, not hotels, this mall was actually popular in the 90s and in the early 2000s. But of course, like most malls, they get rebranded. This area right here that we just walked by became the Art Institute of Miami. Now, I believe the Art Institute has since left the location, and now this is called the Omni Innovation District. Live, work, eat, play, meaning that they turned this into like an office building where, you have a lot of office buildings here. Like this right here was part of the mall where you can see like the carousel used to be. Here you can see that this is where the hotel is at, the Hilton Hotel, and they, have several locations. I was sad to say that this Checkers used to be a premier spot. That sadly, this Checkers and this Burger King. Now this Checkers was the hot spot for a lot of people, because if you lived in this hotel, or not there, if you stayed in this hotel and you came over and you wanted something to eat, this Checkers was open till about 12, 1, 2. Now Checkers is open till about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But at the time, when the mall was here, Checkers, I don't know if Checkers was here when the mall was here, but I know that Checkers was around. And this Burger King closed before the actual Checkers closed. And like when they used to have events downtown, like when the Miami Heat had the Casella Center or stuff like that, and people wanted to eat afterwards, this was one of the restaurants or one of the places that you came to. Now, why this restaurant and place closed, I honestly don't know, and I honestly can't tell you. So I honestly don't know how this ended up closing. Even with the Burger King, I don't end up knowing why. Now, throughout the time here, I've known that there have been a lot of redevelopment in this area. Like right here, this used to be a Bird Irons here in this location here, because this was once part of the mall. And if you go Google the mall opened up back in the late 80s, early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Remember, I didn't do most of my research before coming out. And this was a premier area, or this was a premier hotspot in downtown Miami for a lot of shoppers. You know, Omni Mall was one of the hottest shopping malls down here. Now, you know, a lot of people, Bayside was a shopping area too, but you know, Bayside was an outside mall. The Omni was an inside mall. Now, JCPenney. Now, this is a shopping center that houses a Publix, a Wells Fargo, and several other, you know, businesses. But at the time, you know, there's another trolley. You know, this opened up way after Omni had closed, so you're not getting too much out of here because this only opened up after the Omni Mall has closed. So now we're gonna go to the back side of the mall. Now this, a lot of these, like you see here, a lot of this stuff was not here maybe 20 years ago. Some was probably not here 10 years ago. But due to the rising population in Miami, a lot of these areas have been redeveloped to new condominiums and mixed use developments and stuff. I've said this over and over again, and I'm going to do a video about it too, where you know you have mixed use developments that, you know, serves purposes here in South Florida, where you know you have a lot of areas here that people, you know, frequently. You know, you have apartment buildings at the top, and Omni was the first ever. The Omni Mall was the first ever place that I knew was a mixed-use development that had a hotel at the top and the mall at the bottom or in the middle. You know, because I didn't know a lot of malls that had a hotel sitting at the top. Now you have, you know, a lot of places where they have restaurants and shops at the bottom, and then you have retail places, living quarters at the top, like you know, Miami Central, where the Brightline station is at. They have the Brightline station. You have several restaurants there, and you also have apartments there as well. So this is the back side of the mall, which is the parking area of the mall. And this right here used to be the women's club area. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he moves sometime soon, because I don't know why he flew over here.
No, he scared me.
Yeah.
Birds, so.
I'm to an extent I am too. I guess he's trying to cross the street.
Yeah. Just going to speed.
Oh well. Don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. No. This was over there is Margaret Page Park. I'm not really going to go into depth of that. This is the Miami Women's Club and Flagler Memorial Library. This is the Miami Women's Club, but it date back to many years ago. I really wasn't going to get into any detail of that. This is the Grand Doubletree Hotel, which has been here since the test of time. You know, I've always remembered the Grand being here I've been inside one time, but I've never actually stayed there. You know, when you live in South Florida, you know, some of the places you don't really stay because you're like, I live here, like, you know, and stuff like that. Of course, you know, I've stayed in hotels in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach, you know, because, you know, sometimes, you know, for my birthday and stuff, I go get a room or I go get a hotel and I go, you know, take the night away and places like that, you know, instead of going home. You know, I just stay in a hotel and stuff like that. But here, you know, it's different. And they do have the Grand Retail Mall, which is offices, restaurants, and shops there. You know, I didn't know they had offices in there because that's like a hotel. I don't want to have an office inside of a hotel. Like, that's a happy hours. But it's, I guess they have a restaurant there or whatever. And this is the Marriott Biscayne Bay. I've actually been there once. Before, I didn't stay there, but I've actually been there once. And over here is, I believe this is a historical, it looks like an Episcopal church, but I could not be wrong. Now, this is, of course, the parking garage for the Omni, and since this is an office building, they use it as an office building. The Omni was a hot spot. This was one of the closest malls. If you lived in the Liberty City area, this was one of the malls that you frequently visited because it was closest to the Liberty City. Like I said, if you lived in Opelika or Miami Gardens area, you had 2 malls to go to. Now 3. You had the Westland Mall in Hialeah, you had the 163rd Street Mall in North Miami, or you had the Aventura Mall, depending on if you took the bus or drove or anything of like that nature. If you lived in Liberty City, you had, or the Overtown area, which is a couple of feet away, or like Wynwood or the Design District, or, you know, Upper East Side of Miami, you had the Omni Mall. And you had downtown, and of course you had Bayside. But, you know, now that the Omni Mall is obsolete, you know, you now just have downtown, or what's ever left of downtown, because downtown is a dead zone if you've seen my previous video, and Bayside and certain areas. This is Benami World Resort. They do have an office here, if I'm not mistaken. Now over here where you see these little tents at, if you've ever wondered what used to be here, now you can see it better when you're riding the Metro Mover on, but I had to, you know, flash forward because, you know, I didn't want to be wasting a lot of time on the Metro Mover. This is where the original Miami Herald building resided at. It was over here where these tents are at. Now this is also the iconic Venetian Causeway, which is the back way to get to South Beach and Miami Beach. This, you know, because normally when people go to Miami Beach, they either take the Julia Turtle Causeway, which is north of here, or they take the MacArthur Causeway, which is roughly a few steps south of here. But if you want to take the back way to the beach, in the middle they have the Venetian Causeway. Now the only thing about the Venetian Causeway that's different from the MacArthur and the Julia Turtle is the MacArthur and the Julia Turtle Causeways are high bridges, so boats can go under it. The Venetian Causeway is a low bridge, so they have a bridge, a drawbridge that goes up and down to where you know, you have to sit there and wait for the drawbridge. But the Julia Turtle and the MacArthur Causeway is the main causeways, and those are the causeways that has heavy traffic because of the fact that they are the most popular causeways. And you can see the MacArthur Causeway is one of the most popular causeways because you see that in most movies. You've seen it in the Bad Boys movies, and I believe in CSI Miami you've probably seen that causeway in several of their episodes as well, because the MacArthur Causeway is like one of the main causeways there. We're back over here by the Omni Catwalk sign and also by the Omni terminal. And one fact about the Miami Herald building, one of the things it was an historical building, but it was also a tragedy building. If you've ever read the story, the city of Miami, this had to be in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember it, but I remember the person. There was a man called Arthur E. Tilley, who was the city of Miami commissioner. And he was the commissioner in the city of Miami. He was the commissioner for the urban areas, Liberty City, Brown, Liberty City, Overtown, in the urban areas. There was allegations on him that leaked out about him with money bribing and stuff like that, and also one of the biggest allegations about him having a sexual relations with a transgender person, and it got leaked out into where the paper, which is the Miami Herald, the building that's right here, published it. So, in spite of the fact of the situation, the commissioner ended up coming here to the Miami Herald building, which housed here, and he ended up committing suicide on the first floor of the building. And the reason why is because, like most people, if you understand, the newspaper actually, condemned his character, and they condemned his character. They not criticized, but they just hurted his reputation as a politician. And at that time, he committed suicide. And I read that the reporter that did it, I think, got either fired or terminated or something like that. The reporter that reported on it ended up getting terminated. So when that happened, it got to the point where eventually they closed. Now, it was said because of the fact that there was supposed to be talks of a casino being built at this property, that's one of the reasons why they closed this location and moved. There's somewhere, I believe in Coral Gables, somewhere down that way, but there was rumors to be said that they were supposed to be building a casino there. Well, it never got built, and apparently it's been almost 10 plus years later and the location still hasn't been built. So it's like, okay, whoop-de-doo, like, what are y'all doing? So now it got to the point where there's no talks of rebuilding anything. So now we are back here where we started at. It's the 20, this will probably be the 14. So now we're back to where we started at. So I thank y'all for watching this episode of the Roundtable Talk. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you've ever been to the Omni Mall and you have memories of it, I would want you to share your experiences with me, and let me know what your experiences. If you've been to the movie theater at the Omni Mall, you've rode the carousel at the Omni Mall, you've been to the music store, which was in the Omni Mall. If you've experienced anything at the Omni Mall, share your experiences with me. I would love to hear from your experience. You can comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email me at roundtable00@yahoo.com as well. And I just want to hear from what you have to say about it. This is the Roundtable Talk. I thank y'all for watching. Stay blessed. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. And of course, stay warm. And I will see you in a little bit for our next episode. This is the Roundtable Talk. Take care.